I love building businesses. I love the ability to create something from nothing and have people grow, have them build their business, have them grow their business. And so, for me, I'm a creative, and if I'm not innovating, if I'm not creating, and it just so happens that we're building software in the messaging space, it's just been such a blessing to build something people love, rather than build something when nobody wants it. So it's just fun. I just like the ride. So in 2010, I started a company called Call Loop, which still exists today. And but after running that for a couple of years, I got sort of burnt out. And in 2015, I wrote an email, in fact, a 3-part blog series to about 35,000 people. Sent it out to everybody, and the headline or the subject line was "The Death of Call Loop." And keep in mind, we had thousands of customers, we had tons of people using the product, but it wasn't something that was really growing. And so I wrote this series, and it really told the story of how I sort of secretly despise the business. I started it, had these great intentions of building this business, building this software company, but I was the only one that really cared. And everything that went wrong, it was on me to fix. Everything that went right was me, but there was a lot more wrong than there was bad. And so I wrote this series, and it was just this journey of really wanting to start over. What would I do if I were to start over? If I were to draw a line in the sand and just take a step back, what would I do differently? And so we went down the path of rebuilding Call Loop, and I asked, my business partner at the time, how long is it gonna take? And he's like, it's gonna be a year and a half. I'm like, no. We started creating this other product called Kick a Conference. It was this conference calling software. And about a year later, we only made $1,500 in sales. And I was like, my gosh, we made the number one mistake, which was building something nobody wanted. We spent about $100,000 or more. And it was a big learning lesson. And at that time, I was like, man, if I were to recreate Call Loop, what would I really do? And Salesmsg sort of came through this challenge of just how would I put myself out of business? And so I just sort of took it down a piece of paper. I said, what do I like about the business? What do I don't like? What would I do differently? And before we started to build the product, I did a webinar. I said, hey, don't code anything. Let's not build anything, and let's go ahead and actually pre-sell it. And so we pre-sold it, and we made $4,000 or $5,000 on that webinar. And so we got to work and really built that out. But the idea of Salesmsg really early on was, how do we create a conversational text messaging platform, right? The whole world is moving towards text messaging, and we wanted to create something that businesses can use rather than their employees or them using their own personal cell phone. So Salesmsg came from just me having the problem and thousands of other customers saying, hey, could you build something like this? And then they actually gave us money to go and build it. But it wasn't all great. We went through all the trials and tribulations of building that software company. But today, here we are in 2022. We've got 27 employees. We just made the Inc. 5000 list and the 27th fastest growing company. And it's been quite the journey. So, with ClickFunnels, they really helped us. We're a one-page website, which is crazy. People look at us and how did you do that on a one-page website? And to be honest, it was just because out of necessity. It was simple, it was easy. And so we've existed on ClickFunnels since day one, and it's helped us out to really grow the business. And then it's just been this expounding growth because we're really building a really cool product, a product that customers want. And so, the vision for us is to be global, right? So whether it's in Australia or Germany or in South America with, building WhatsApp and those channels, we see it as really building a big company. Our big goal, it's crazy to say, but a couple of years ago, I probably would have never thought, oh wow, this can be a pretty big company. But, my co-founder and I were how do we get to $100 million? And that was a crazy idea. That wasn't even a thought, but I think we can get there, and I think we're on the path to get there, so.